Hello and welcome to the Art of Artisan. Today, before I start my video, I would like to share something I've been working on, putting well over 100 hours into, and this is my documented brainstorm. A lot of people like to post deck lists for other people to play, but I really don't like that much because I think that part of the joy of Magic is making your own deck. This is a tool for people who want to make their own deck. It is not a list of deck lists, but it's a list of deck ideas. So you can take one of these, maybe put your own spin on it, and make your own deck. But I've decided to finally bring it up to people because I've got a nice round 69 finished decks. And so here's how you can use this. Let's say you see this top one, and its best of one win rate is 88.9. You can click on this link, and it pulls up a picture. And in this picture, we've got a core of the deck on the left side. So if you're playing this deck, you're going to want these cards. Maybe different numbers, you might trim it down to 2 Homestead Courages. You might even cut Ancestral Anger. But if I saw these cards in your deck, I would call it a Browis deck. Then these are cards that I've considered when building my own version of this deck. So you can take the basic idea of a Boros Prowess deck and build what you want. And this isn't just a list of like every card that you should use, but it's a list of cards to consider. So that's how you use this as a tool. And if you want to find something good, first of all, for sorting the best of one win rate, you can sort Z to A, and it will put the best win rates at the top. The Artisan win rate is for best of 3 with the Artisan Discord. However, there's not as much data for these. A lot of these decks I just kind of slapped together and we don't actually have a record for them. Also note that the best of 1 record is only out of 5. So take all the best of 1 records with a grain of salt. Because some of these decks that are at the top I don't think deserve to be at the top. Some of the decks near the bottom I don't think deserve to be at the bottom. Very small sample size, but just enough to give you a general idea that the deck can function. And these were tested at Diamond rank. However, in the process of building so many Artisan decks, I've tanked my MMR, so you probably won't do as well as I will with these, because I'm getting matched against a lot easier people. But yeah, the other cool thing you can do with this is you can filter the archetype. So the way that you do that is you'd clear all of the options, then you'd go, I'm a fan of, let's say, 1-turn kill decks and tempo decks. And then it will get all of this here. And you can do this even without editing the spreadsheet. It'll do this temporarily. And I can now look at all the 1-turn kill and tempo decks, which are actually some of the best performing Artisan decks. And then to put them all back, you just click select all and OK. You can also sort by colors. Same idea. You clear everything and go, I'm a big fan of Boros. And you'll get this. So that's really all there is to say about this sheet. I have put a ton of work into it. If you have suggestions for it, if you want to tell me, hey, I've tried this deck and I went 5-2 in best of 1, I'll add that to the spreadsheet. If you're doing it like in platinum to diamond rank, I'll just add your record to this so that we can make this a better resource for everyone out there. So that's a little bit long. Sorry to take so much time with this, but I really am proud of this and I hope you guys can take advantage of it. Also, this is only for standard. I will, if this gets popular enough, try to make an explorer list, or if people really want it, I can do an alchemy list. There actually is a decent number of artisan decks that are alchemy exclusive. I can do historic. It may take me a bit longer to make the explorer and historic lists, largely because I have run out of uncommon wild cards doing this. That's pretty much where I'm at with making an explorer one. But thank you so much for listening to this little plug. Please try it out. The link is in the description of this video. Alright, now on to the deck I'm playing today. So this is one of the decks that I have tested out with 5 games. It went 3-2, but it was a very fun deck. Definitely a different style from most Artisan decks that I've played. So I figured I'd put it up as the next video. I just realized there is a mistake in this I definitely need some dual lands. That may have been part of the issue with only getting 3 wins. Um, where we're a control deck, I think we want 2 campuses and got some double white. I think we'll actually go with 3 Scoured Barrens. We'll be a little bit slow, but that should be good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty. So this is Naomi Control. Naomi is a wonderful payoff for this deck. It has, whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, we get a 2/2 Samurai. Only if we have an artifact and an enchantment. So this deck is looking to slow down the game with great controlling artifacts and enchantments, and then play this and close out the game with it. It's a lot of value. Even if your opponent instantly removes it, it leaves behind a 2/2. Kami of Terrible Secrets is our other payoff, draws us a card and gains a life for the same idea. Vanishing Slash, removal spell that creates a samurai if we have the right requirements of an enchantment and an artifact. And Roadside Reliquary, which is a land that we can sacrifice to draw cards if we have artifacts and enchantments. That's the basic part of the deck. That's the payoffs. Then the rest of the deck is just powerful cards. So for enchantments, we've got some basic removal-based enchantments. So Candle Trap, Giftsling Defender. We're rarely actually going to be able to exile something, but I needed some more 1-drops to fill out the curve and handle super aggressive decks. Circle of Confinement, removal spell for cheap creatures, and Touch the Spirit Realm, which can be kind of a catch-all removal. It also can blink Naomi in response to removal, creating another samurai, so that's pretty good. As far as our other enchantments go, we need to have card draw. If we're a control deck, we're doing a lot of 1-for-1 removal. This is just a general tip for control. You either need to have sweepers that are 2-for-1s or 3-for-1s, or you need to have good card draw to keep up with whatever your opponent's doing. So we've got Spirited Companion, which draws us cards. We've got Life of Toshiro Umezawa, which is potentially a 2-for-1. It also can just be Lifegain. Rampage of the Valkyries is a solid blocker that if our opponent removes it, it kills one of their creatures. So this can be part of our finisher. It's actually, I've found, to be a very solid card, even in non-angel decks. As far as our artifacts go, we've got Portable Hole, one of the best removal spells in Artisan. We've got Citizen's Crowbar, which can get rid of enchantments and artifacts, which tend to be a huge problem for Artisan decks. And then Circuit Mender, which is another card advantage sort of card. And then our lands, we've got a little bit of life gain. We've got Silver Quill Campus, which is a fantastic way to dump mana if we ever get into a top deck war. So that's Naomi Control. Very simple deck, but very fun to play. And so let's get into the games and see how it does. Alrighty, game 1. And I'd also like to apologize for my voice. I'm feeling a bit Flemish today. Seaman. I'm sure that's how they want me to pronounce that. Okay, we've got the Kami, we've got Artifact and Enchantment, and it's a solid removal hand. Reliquary, we've got both colors of mana. This is a good hand. I kind of hope we play against aggressive decks with this, because if we can just remove enough things, usually they just give up. It does not look like we're going to be that lucky. Your go, opponent. Yeah, if they're playing tap lands like that. Oh, okay, that looks aggressive to me. And that is another nice thing about Portable Hole. It doesn't care if it's a creature or not. It just removes everything. So we will get rid of that before it does anything else. Got Confinement up for whatever creature they may play. Probably going to be a 3-drop. And that's a nice little trade to get. Oh, Dread Fugue. Oof. Okay. I do not know what our opponent is doing. It looks like it's some sort of Orzhov slowly drain me out of the game sort of game plan. Okay. So I could spend my mana better doing Circuit Mender, but I think it's better to do this just so that I can dump out Kami next turn and draw a card off of it. Wow. I am really not doing fantastic today as far as my ability to speak. Sorry, y'all. So we'll drop Kami. And we'll start our little beat downs, turn off their card draw. Got a solid amount of removal. If we run out of stuff in our hand, we can just sack Roadside Reliquary. We actually can turn on Candle Trap, the Coven ability, and get to exile whatever we enchant with it. Kind of rare in this deck, but we do have the 1, 3, and 2. Our opponents, wow, channeling. Oh goodness, they're a 90 card deck or something. Yeah, I am definitely a tanked MMR right now. I should not be running into decks like this in Diamond. But oh well, I will take it. Game 2. I feel actually fairly good about our position here. Our opponent only has 3 cards in hand. And, ooh, okay, Wandering Emperor. That is something that we cannot answer with a lot of our removal. There goes the Kami. But we, oh, and they gain the life. That's actually really nice for them. That's a good draw. Okay. And now we will see how powerful Naomi is when you build a deck around her. And here comes 6 power onto the battlefield, soon to be more. Your go, opponent. And we still have Candle Trap turned on the Coven mode. And if we're desperate for more cards, we can always sack Roadside. Ooh, yep. That's good. That's really good. We're not too phased by it. We're still ahead on cards, but this Cosmos Elixir is going to be a serious issue because we cannot hurt our opponent's life total right here. We don't have very good ways to pressure them. We do not have an enchantment anymore as well. So I don't think it's worth sacking Roadside Reliquary to draw 1 card. I really want them to play a creature so we can Candle Trap it and then sack Roadside Reliquary. Okay, I'll take the card draw. Yeah, having, oh, alright, that's, oh no it isn't. We really need them to play a creature. We need something to Candle Trap. Oh shoot. Yeah, that's a serious issue. We have no way to play an enchantment. Alright, guess we start using Silver Quill Campus to scry. Our opponent is starting to beat us on the card advantage front. And that looks like it's probably a Doomscar. That's the only card I can think of that you'd foretell in this. Although if it's Starnheim Unleashed, we are in serious trouble. Ooh, good draw, good draw. What do you say to a Rampage of the Valkyries? Ah, Auto Tapper. Dang it. We could have sacked Roadside Reliquary for 2 cards this turn. Oh, that's bad. Alright. Your go, opponent. Oh, it's just Poison the Cup again. Alright, I was scared of Starnheim Unleashed. That is a card you do not want to run against if you're a control deck that is not in blue. Circuit Menders and our Kami have gained us a lot of life, so I'm not really feeling threatened by the meat hook. I do need an answer to this Cosmos Elixir. Drawing our Citizen's Crowbar would be huge. Alright. They've got some angels. We will play Naomi, and I think we'll actually just remove the angel with a portable hole and then a candle trap. We'll just say no to their 4/4s. Nope. And nope. Now we get the Naomi engine going. We can play out Kami and then exile the angel. Considering we have a good enchantment and artifact that our opponent's not really going to try and remove and are hard to remove with Wraths, I think we're okay to get rid of our enchantment right there. AO is a small issue, but I think we have 8 mana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we can exile AO this turn. So I'm not too concerned about that. So we'll just Candle Trap you. Oh, I should probably play Kami first because that's card draw and maybe we would have had something better. Oh well, too late. And we will just get rid of AO right now. Now we get a free attack in. Our opponent's probably just going to block the samurai. No, they're going to throw away their angel. Alrighty. Now we get to start really pressuring our opponent unless they have another meat hook, which, knowing the style of deck they're playing, they probably do. Yeah, Cosmos Elixir is probably going to win this game for our opponent. Yep. Yeah, having card draw every single turn when we aren't able to pressure their life total is just brutal. Like, that's a good draw. Okay, goodbye Cosmos Elixir. Now let's see if we can catch up at all. We've got Roadside Reliquary. That should help us once we have a turn where we don't have, when we've run entirely out of cards. That'll be very exciting. Year of Enlightenment. Sadly, it's a 2/2 on the backside, so Life of Toshiro is not going to be too helpful here. Hawksrill. Okay. Yeah, our opponent is definitely playing a deck we did not want to face. That's all I can say. We are not looking good at all here. We will kill your little slug, I guess. Take that. We'll kill the next one next turn, but yeah, I do not think we can beat a Toxrill. I think this is the game. Maybe like if we top deck another Touch the Spirit Realm, we could do okay, but Wolf as well, yeah. Alrighty. This one is already over. We'll give ourselves one more draw step, see what the Circuit Bender gives us when it dies. But after that, if it's not something that progresses the game in a significant way, I'm just going to scoop the game. We'll block. This is dying anyways. Bonk. Opponent gains a life with Meat Hook. Yeah, this was Cosmos Elixir's game. Meat Hook as well was really solid, but I don't think our opponent could have gotten so many Meat Hooks. Okay, Rampage of the Valkyries is actually an okay card. Along with Spirited Companion, which maybe draws us something better. This also gives our opponent a slug. You know what? I'm doing it. Yeah, Cosmos Elixir got our opponent everything they needed eventually. And we still don't have removal for Toxrill, so we're still in serious trouble. At least I can block the Hand of Enlightenment this turn. Actually, wait, can I? No, if I block the Hand of Enlightenment, this will die. Because it's at the end step that I get a slime counter. So this will still have the damage on it from Hand of Enlightenment. So I can really only block a slug. If I get removal for Toxrill, I can play Naomi. But our opponent probably has drawn enough, and they have enough card draw that they'll just hit another Meat Hook if we stabilize, and they're Planeswalkers we don't really have answers to, so yeah, I think I'm just going to scoop it up. Good game, opponent. Like, our Rampages are solid, but they have a bunch of sacrificed fodder. Alrighty. Yep, that's the issue with Artisan decks is we really rarely have engines that are good enough to keep up with Planeswalkers and Cosmos Elixir, cards that just provide a ton of card advantage over time. That's why I haven't really posted very many control lists on this channel. So on to game 2. Alrighty, game 2. Also, random plug. I realize I don't say this enough. I really want these videos to get seen by people. I want people to be able to play Magic without having to spend money. So if you can like or subscribe, like it's just a really simple way for you to help out the channel so that everyone gets the chance to see easy budget brews. And so I'd really appreciate that. This hand does not have an artifact, but it does seem pretty solid otherwise, so I'm just gonna bottom a life and see where we go with this. Okay, that is not really the colors we want to be seeing. Black means we might be facing another sweeper heavy deck, which we're okay with sweepers, but it does mean that we'll have trouble actually closing out the game. And blue is a color that is not playing very many permanents, which means a lot of our controlling removal is going to be fairly useless. That's a good card to draw. Alright, land. We still do not have an artifact. We will not play this Kami until we get an artifact. That's, it's kind of a dead card without an artifact. And we'll just start pressuring our opponent, turn our doggy into a 3/3. If our opponent counters this, I'll be fairly happy, because... Alright, yeah. That's a pretty wasted counterspell. This is not really a big threat for any sort of controlling deck. I'm gonna guess that this is Saw It coming. Either that or Behold the Multiverse. Okay, it's Behold the Multiverse. Otherwise, I don't know why they'd be looking at their card and considering it. Alrighty, there we go. That is what we need. We're playing it around Jawari Disruption. We're not playing it around other counterspells. If they counter this one, I'll be a little bit sad. We do need an artifact. Alrighty. Our opponent does seem a bit trigger happy on their counterspells, which could be good for us, but that was actually an important card to counterspell, even if it may not have looked like it from our opponent's side. Campus. I guess we just play another life. Life I really like in this deck because it's removal and it's life gain, and it's just a creature to start beating down, turn on the Coven and all that. They're playing Black Bloom Rogue. Okay, I do not know what our opponent's doing. This looks like it's a homebrew control deck. Just very, I like this card, I'm going to throw it in. I'll throw in some MDFCs as a clock to finish the game. I mean, this can be a 5/3. I actually could see this as a decent Artisan control finisher. Like, if you've controlled the game long enough, this will just be a 5/3 menace for 3. And then early game, it can just be a tap land. Yeah, I never really thought of it as an okay card, but it might be. I'm about to jam Rampage of the Valkyries, which is, oh, sweet. They do not have counter magic up. That was a really bad time for our opponent to tap out. They probably will have removal, but now they're forced to use their removal instead of a counter spell on this. Okay, they've just got Hagra Mauling. So I guess it's not that huge, but getting a 4/4 onto the battlefield is nice and scary. Oh, we still need an artifact. Oh boy. I think we actually are just gonna pass. We're gonna use Silver Quill Campus to scry, make our opponent wonder what we've got in our hand by not tapping out yet. Hold, okay. They are gonna be ahead of us on cards now, but we'll be in really nice shape. I don't think our opponent's playing any sweepers, or maybe that's just what's in their hand, but we've seen a lot of simple removal and counters and card draw. Like, this is a bread and butter control deck. Grizzleaxe. We are going to Circle of Confinement that pretty happily. Now, that's a kind of scary card, because if they can just remove our Memory of Toshiro, then that will be pretty much a Cosmos Elixir situation again. Yeah, we're a control deck that is not good against other control decks. Against other control decks, you need to be in blue to have counter spells and ways to interact with them on the stack. We need artifacts. That's an artifact. Okay, we play this. This might bait out their counter spell, partially because it's just another blocker for Grizzleaxe. Okay, it doesn't bait out the counter spell. We're going to save it for something else, which is this. Please don't have an answer to my Circle of Confinement, even though you are fairly obviously representing an answer. Yep, negate. Alrighty. Well, we will leave back 2 blockers. I would be surprised if they have 2 removal spells in hand. Not like super surprised, but they don't seem as removal heavy as they are counterspell heavy. And if they used a sweeper, then Grizzleaxe would. Okay. This is a very simple control deck. I really like it. Naomi, if you don't have sweepers, opponent, and you don't have a counter to this, you're about to be in serious trouble. This does look like they have a counter, though. Although if it's just removal spells in their hand, oh, it is. We get a blocker, unless they remove the Circuit Mender. Alright, we still get the blocker. And we will pass. And we still have Kami turned on. I saw our opponent consider Circuit Mender. I feel like our opponent's actually pretty smart to be looking at the Circuit Mender. Okay, they turn on Hall. And we will block Grizzleaxe and Soul Knife Spy. Actually, we'll block like that. We want our Kami still turned on. Does give our opponent a card when they hit us with all of the Storm Giants, but only if they don't bounce Grizzleaxe. So Grizzleaxe dies or they don't draw a card. Okay. They keep us our board, they don't get any card draw. We do get card draw and gain a life and get Roadside Reliquary. I could play the doggy as a blocker for Hall of the Storm Giants, but I think our opponent's going to be deploying their creatures again. So I think I'm just going to crack Roadside Reliquary at our opponent's end step. We'll attack with this because I don't want to block with it, and you're a free attack. Alrighty, here go opponent. This is looking pretty good for us. Foul play. Okay, I'll take that. I don't think they want to kill Circuit Mender because it draws us a card, but having the artifact on the battlefield is really important for us right now. I've played against some white weenie decks with this when I was testing it for the Brainstorm, and there were so many times where I got my artifact from my opponent using the removal spell that gives you a clue. So they would try to remove my creature and then all of a sudden start turning on my Naomi's. It was a pretty nice little interaction. Alrighty, our opponent doesn't have anything immediately. This is a turn where if they have been holding a sweeper, we played right into it. But if they don't have a sweeper, I'm feeling super good about where we are. Okay, looks like no sweeper. Our opponent's playing a sweeperless control, and I think that means we win. These don't do anything, sadly. Spirited Companion. Just a plains. Right, these are both too expensive. I think we just all-out attack. They can't block and kill Naomi, but I think they end up having to block it anyways and go to 1. Alrighty. Looking really good here. We can scry with Silverquill Campus and find another creature if they do a sweeper. And they do not have sweepers in their deck. Alrighty, yeah, they looked like they were playing just a really good Artisan control deck there. Like a non-Artisan, but like a very Artisan style control deck. I really like it. And that puts us at 1-1. And you can see there, that was not a very good deck that we were playing against. Once again, I've tanked my MMR, so don't expect to do as well if you're playing at Diamond. But if you're playing, in Platinum, or you just want to have some fun in the play queue, this is the sort of deck I'd recommend playing. Very fun. On to Game 3. Game 3 with Naomi Control. Small note on the deck list. If you're not me, I recommend running more Banishing Slashes. Wow, I only have 1 in the deck, and I was just mentioning it, and it happened to be in my hand. How about that? But I literally am only running 1, only because I do not have enough wild cards. Building the whole 69 decks, I definitely was running out of wild cards by the end of that, which was a little bit sad because I have not been able to test my tribal deck where I'd be running all the tribal payoffs with a changeling deck. Really want to build that one, and also means it's going to take a long time before I can start moving into Explorer. Alright, this maybe wasn't a good keep, because we're once again in a I need artifacts mode. So, we'll have to see what our opponent's doing, though. Wow. Throwing a removal spell at our 1/1 creature. I mean, now we need an artifact and an enchantment. If our opponent's throwing removal spells at that, I think we just run out one of these. It's a clock. Like, I don't know. This was probably a really bad keep for us. Okay. It has vigilance, which means banishing slash is going to do nothing to that. That's bad. That's actually really bad. Portable hole? Nope. Okay. We could remove Furge's Retribution, but I kind of don't care about it as much as I care about the angel itself. So we're going to let them kill our Kami. And if we like top deck some sort of artifact, we can banishing slash this because it's going to tap down. Okay, this is just straight up angels. Alright. Hit for 4. Please tap it. Thank you. Give me an artifact off the top. There we go. That is the artifact I was hoping for, too. Circuit Mender gains us a life. We will play this on that, get ourselves a 2/2, and we'll sadly have to pass. Hopefully our opponent doesn't get up to much higher life totals. I am a little scared of this deck because they are a deck that can Stonewall Naomi. I'm actually trying to decide, should I play Kami, which is less mana efficient, but can draw us into things like, oh shoot, like removal spells. I really need to touch the Spirit Realm right now, because we're about to start getting destroyed. Yeah, I think I just need to draw and touch the Spirit Realm. That is my only hope of surviving. Okay, that sort of helps us survive. It makes it harder, like our opponent's still going to be getting a 4/4 every turn. Yeah, actually we're dead. I was feeling okay until this. Making a 4/4 every turn until we remove it means we are pretty dead. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, yeah, we're dead. Alright, good game, opponent. And yeah. Righteous Valkyrie, I think, has been one of the worst cards for me to play against in every Artisan deck. Very few times do I feel good in any matchup against it. On to game number 4. Game number 4. I definitely think that this deck is better in the Artisan meta, where like removing low mana cost creatures is pretty valuable, and decks don't have as many draw infinite card engines. This is a really good hand, though. This is actually a great hand. We've got Banishing Slash and stuff to turn it on. Oh, we just drew a... Yeah, we'll just Candle Trap that right off. Yeah, that seems fine. Maybe not the best call. We could have lifed it, but I really want to keep our life total high early. And I want to turn on Banishing Slash, which will kill this pack leader this next turn. So yeah, we run out the Crowbar. We now have an artifact and an enchantment on the battlefield. And our opponent... Oh shoot, I can't Banishing Slash. That was a misplay. That was a big misplay. Dang it. Well, I talked about wanting to keep our life total high. Let's keep our life total high. Yeah, that was just a obvious oops. If they block here, I'm fine with that. Okay. We'll clear it out before it starts growing and becoming a much scarier blocker. Asika's Chariot is... Lana and Elena is also fairly bad. But we do get to kill this pack leader. Okay, decisions. We can just candle trap the pack leader and then kill Halana and Elena with Banishing Slash when it attacks, because candle trapping Halana and Elena is not a good plan. So I think we do just have to try and remove Halana and Elena with... Oh, but they're not going to tap it down. Yeah, that's an issue. So this gets candle trapped. Rampage is not looking as good when our opponent... Oh wait, actually they can still attack with Halana and Elena, because it's got first strike, so they'll feel safe attacking. Because they could just kill the Citizen, and my Circuit Mender can't actually block it. I'm tapped out, so if they're smart, they should be able to realize they can attack. Come on, opponent. You should know you can attack. It was the correct move to attack there. I guess we double block. Whichever one that they kill, I'm still in fairly good shape. Well, not like fairly good shape, but I'm happy to get rid of that, regardless of which one they kill. Alrighty. Fair play, fair play. Coven is nowhere near turned on. Still nowhere near turned on. And I missed a land drop, so I can't rampage this turn. So I guess I just run this out, gain a little bit more life, keep my wall of blockers. And now I cannot block with Memory of Toshiro if I want to have Banishing Slash turned on. Okay. We take it. Bonk. Kami of Terrible Secrets. I think I actually just run that out now. So I run this out. It'll be a chump blocker for the Weaver of Blossoms. No attacks. Yikes, Halana and Elena. That's another card that's just really... Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh, that is game over. That is pretty easily game over. Halana and Elena, turn that boy on. Wow, they're not attacking with it still. Ugh. Okay, we will, like, block with 50 creatures against the Avabra Caretaker. If I play Rampage, I turn on Candle Trap, which means I can then actually exile the Werewolf Pack later. And then if I chump with the Angel, it'll actually remove something important. However, I don't think I can afford to do that yet. I think I just have to get rid of the Weaver of Blossoms and cut down the opponent's clock. Okay. There's a 2-2. We have a decent board, but our opponent gets a bunch of power every turn. Alrighty. That's an issue. Okay. We are forced to chump block both of those. Now I'm really wishing I had more Banishing Slashes in the deck. A couple more certainly would not be something to cry about. Citizen's Crowbar here is 100% going to be a removal spell for this unnatural growth. Actually, will it? At this point, we just have to block everything every turn. Okay. Naomi makes us blockers. So we're going to run out Naomi. And our opponent gets... Alright. They're going to just be massive every turn. Yeah, that's a 3-2 that's going to get even bigger. I will block it with a bunch of creatures if needed. What are they going to do? Although if they just pump it with too much... Oh, yikes, never mind. Whoa, oh, that's right, Halana gets pumped. Woohoo! Gotta love it. Gotta love Otherbrecht Caretaker when you're... Yeah, I don't think we can keep up with this. Now their Ascendant Pack Leader's a lethal threat as well. Like, everything they're playing is a lethal threat. Like, I don't even care about Unnatural Growth anymore, because everything's a lethal threat, whether it's doubled or not. And I can't block and kill anything. Okay, so Spirited Companion draws us a card. That's all it really does, but hey, card draw. Good stuff. Reliquary, that's a good card. Okay, now what are my options? I can attach Crowbar, get rid of something, but I don't have anything I want to get rid of. I can kill the Werewolf Pack Leader and set up for Rampage of the Valkyries to be good. Naomi can swing in then, and then I have 3 chump blockers. Which means if our opponent plays any creature, I lose. However, I think I just need to do that to turn on Rampage and hope our opponent doesn't top deck a creature. That is our only possible out here. Alright, and yeah. We swing in with Naomi. Get ourselves a 2/2 with Vigilance. And I guess we can quadruple chump block if... Oh my gosh! Now they just need to turn it tonight, and I lose. So then they get Trample. Yep. And that's a bunch of 2020s. I will block them all. And I will die. That's pretty much where this is at. This really kind of sucked. Yep. All I can do is play a Rampage. That's nowhere near enough. Alright, yep. Otherbrecht Caretaker and Halana and Elena. Both cards I'm not happy to see. And this is a moment where we really see this is not a deck for best of one. Not best of one, really, but this is not a deck for the ladder. This is a deck for the Artisan queue. Play queue where you get matched against decks of similar power level. Alrighty, on to game 5. Let's see if we can turn our record around a little bit. Okay, game 5. And if I win this game, then the overall win rate for this deck will be 50%. Because I went 3-2 with it, testing it for the Brainstorm. This is okay against an aggressive start. We've got Artifact and Enchantment. We just need black mana, but I think we should be good finding it. Like, even if we stumble around for a little bit, we've got removal for any sort of early game. Like, if we're facing runes, I actually feel really good about this hand, just for the 2 removal spells. That's definitely a matchup that most Artisan decks kind of struggle against, but this deck actually can beat runes, I feel like. Watch our opponent be playing runes, and I just lose anyways. That would be embarrassing. Okay, there's our black mana. I'm actually not going to Portable Hole, because I can kill it with Life of Toshiro. I'm going to save our removal spells for the payoff here. Okay. That also dies to Life of Toshiro. So I'm just going to get rid of the Intrepid Adversary. Bye-bye, 3-1. And your go, opponent. Feeling really good about where we're at, actually. Yeah. Okay, you get -1/-1. Our opponent is in trouble with their lands as well. I'm going to run out the Spirited Companion, even though Circuit Bender's more mana efficient, just because I want to see more cards more quickly. And next turn, if our opponent plays anything, we can still just portable hole it and then Kami of Terrible Secrets. Exile and return. And our opponent is completely land screwed, and we are going to take advantage of that. I could Circuit Mender here, but Kami's better. Kami's much better. Okay, goodbye that. Kami of Terrible Secrets. This is a fast clock. We're drawing into more card draw. Not a super fast clock, but for our deck, this is a good clock. Opponent doesn't draw any lands. Oh, that is a sad ending for this deck. I kind of want to do one more. I feel like every single game we played with this deck, except for the first one we won, felt a little bit like a non-game. So you know what? We're going to do a round 6. We're going to do a round 6. Bonus round incoming. Normally don't like to do this because oftentimes I'm wanting to do it to change the record, but I want to do this just so we have a better game. I want to show off. Even if we lose, I want it to be a game where it felt like we were doing our thing. Luxor. That's spicy. Ooh, and Portable Hole being able to kill Luxor is actually a really nice thing here, because I feel like our opponent's going to be doing something crazy. Yeah, we're just going to get rid of that, though. That's a much more scary threat. Okay, so they're running Luxor and Giada. Oh boy, I've been listening to Saffron Olive too much. I can't pronounce things anymore. Spirited Companion. We've already got our enchantment artifact turned on. That can kill a Righteous Valkyrie, which, if our opponent's playing mono white angels, it would have. Okay, Ninja's Kunai. That is not a card you expect to see that often. Draw us into land, preferably a black source. Okay, I'll take a non-black source. Just playing this to increase our clock a little bit. We really want to keep our opponent's life total low in case they do just start running out Righteous Valkyries. As well, if they play out another Giada. Oh my goodness, are we having another non-game? No, I want my opponent to play. Oh gosh. Well, looks like it's a non-game. Ugh. Opponent has something. It's probably just a removal spell, though. And we'll get in for 4. And here we see one of the biggest flaws with an Angel deck. Angel decks really do not have a good early game. So if you're ever playing an Angel deck, make sure to just mulligan pretty aggressively for, well, not mulligan aggressively, but when you do mulligan, make sure you have a bunch of lands in your opening hand. Okay, we could circle that, but I haven't seen really any Lifegain payoffs yet. So I'm just going to increase the heck out of our clock. All right, no attacks. Naomi is a very scary card when you don't have answers. Yeah, they just have to remove it. Like, if you can't block it, if we've run our opponent down on resources, it very quickly causes issues. Yeah, I don't think I want them doing that. So I'm just going to circle it. Oop-de-doop. Your Ninja's Kunai is no longer in play. And Circuit Mender. Keep on getting in. And we have lethal next turn. Like, pretty much, yeah, Core Celebrant will not save them here. Attach the Kunai. We Candle Trap. Oh, we don't actually have all the mana to do it, though. We can almost Candle Trap Life of Toshiro to pump something up, and then exit. Oh, we have the mana. This is game. Candle Trap. Life of Toshiro, which gives a creature +2. That turns on Coven, and we can Candle Trap, exile it. And that is the game. Alright, another non-game. Our opponent really played nothing. Well, I guess they played a few things. We just answered them pretty effectively. So I guess that's the power of a white-black control shell. If your opponent has very few creatures, if they're planning on just pumping up their creatures and stuff, then you can wreck them. I kind of want to do a 7th game, but this video's already been not the best. It's probably one that you're not going to watch all the way through. So let's just go to the wrap-up. Final verdict on the deck. This is not a good deck for ladder. It is not really powerful enough for ladder. If you're playing an Artisan deck, the way that you survive is you be super synergistic and have the potential to be super duper powerful, and you can win in best of one doing that. So things like a tempo deck where you can just troll your opponent out of the game and beat them down fairly quickly. If you're trying to play a reactive deck, like a mid-range deck or a control deck, then you just can't keep up. I think we could modify this a bit more for best of one. We would probably add some more Banishing Slashes, some more Touch the Spirit Realms, and I'd probably go up Citizen's Crowbar over something like Life of Toshiro Umezawa, because we saw we were running out of artifacts too often, and we were getting destroyed by something like Cosmos Elixir. And that brings me to the other thought with this deck that makes it really bad for best of one, and that's that we don't have solid answers to everything. Like, we can remove early game creatures. We're fairly good against Naya Runes, I found, at least when I was testing the deck, but we don't have solid answers to things like Planeswalkers, or if our opponent is just spamming out a bunch of value pile-y cards, which we saw with the Angels deck. Righteous Valkyrie, we had to kill it. But then they had the Valkyrie Harbinger, which starts creating 4/4 Angels every turn. And then they have Verge's Retribution, which is a removal spell, and it's a 4/4 Angel. When our opponent's doing too many 2-for-1s, or if you don't answer this, I'm going to get a card every turn, or Helana and Elena, if you don't answer this, I'm going to have a lethal threat every turn, then we just can't keep up with this Artisan deck. No sweepers is a serious downside. So, if you do want to upgrade this deck, biggest upgrade, 4 of Meathook Massacre. Instantly would add that card to this deck. I know you probably hate that card because it's a card you see too often, but it actually fits in this deck especially well because it's an enchantment. I maybe would change Touch the Spirit Realm to Borrowed Time, just as an answer to Planeswalkers. That might be a nice option, but I highly recommend you join the Artisan Discord. And if you join the Artisan Discord, I'll put a link for that in the description for this video as well. But if you join it, this sort of deck is fantastic there. It's a very fun deck to play, so I recommend you try it out. But don't waste your uncommon wild cards on this deck if you're just planning to play it on ladder. Play queue, yes, try it out. Ladder, no. So thanks for watching the video, everyone, and I'll catch you next time. Keep enjoying Budget Magic.